and we'll, fill for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Fill it with nougat.
As long as
I
it's
was
not
surprised how many
marshmallow.
people. I was surprised how many people don't like nougat. But I was talking to somebody, and they just said that nougat is the worst part of any candy bar, and I don't know. I just kind of, it's just the part that's just there. I mean, like I don't know that I love it or hate it. It's just, you know, how do you have a candy bar without nougat? You don't. So you just accept it.
I feel like I need a reminder as to what nougat is.
Exactly. I think you just proved
Nougat is
Brian's point.
nougat is just that stuff. You know, in a Milky Way,
Is it crunchy or creamy?
Yeah,
it's
hell yeah.
neither. I mean, more creamy than crunchy.
Okay.
Umpax says, "Think Three Musketeers," and I think that is probably the best example. Three Musketeers is basically all nougat.
Then maybe I know what it is.
Like you know how Three Musketeers is basically chocolate and then the filling. It's the filling. Whereas like a Snickers is like a chocolate and filling and peanuts and caramel and like other stuff that basically just make it a strictly better. Ha! I said it. Uh, Three Musketeers, except for people with peanut allergies, which are a significant portion of the population. But
Hmm.
otherwise, it's just better.
I also like the way Mike is still waiting on us to explain nougat, even though he's got the internet at his fingertips.
I mean, I'm looking at the Wikipedia page right now, but it's still not helping me very much.
Wow, the internet has failed Mike.
That makes me so happy.
Honestly, in a really
Because
weird way,
it's
me
like
too.
showing photographs of nougat alone instead of like in context where I
Oh,
would have.
that doesn't help at
Well,
all.
how do you describe taste on the internet? You're like, hey, this tastes like okay. Well, I was gonna say like chicken, but you actually know what that is. But like a picture doesn't show you what something tastes like. And I'm sorry, every time somebody says like, "Oh, this has a creamy, earthy, nutty flavor," I'm like, I don't know what that means. Like I associate nutty as like, peanuts,
I
not
mean, like
wine.
if I think really hard about the Three Musketeers example, I think I get it. It's just been a very long time since like I probably haven't had any kind of candy bar like candy since Christmas. So I'm just thinking like uh
You live in a house with no children, so
yeah.
unless you and Ashley have one like squirreled away under the floorboards, in which case you probably shouldn't admit that to me on the podcast. Just call me later and we'll get it
Yeah, we
figured
are
out.
live, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
and recording, so
That would also
Ah,
cause issues with terms of our lease agreement. So
good of you to think practical, Mike. Good of you to think practical. So,
I'm uh I'm eating a Star Crunch real quick. Does that have nougat in it?
what is a Star Crunch? I don't think I've heard of that in my life, and I'm not trying to sound all uppity like, "Ooh, look at my candy bars." I don't think I've heard of it of a Star Crunch.
It's
I'm
not
not
a candy
familiar with
bar. It's
that.
a little Debbie thing.
Like a not a Twizzler, like a Twinkie.
Well, that's not a little Debbie, I don't think, but yeah, sort of,
Is it
sure.
not?
No, Hostess
Hostess.
Twinkie. Yeah.
Hostess makes Twinkies.
I was reaching for an oatmeal cream pie, but my headset wouldn't let me reach for it or make it, so I took a Star Crunch instead because it was slightly closer, and I didn't feel like taking my headset off. But anyway, okay, let's go. Here we go. Ow, jam. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mana Pool. Baby.
Anticlimactic.
There. Hang on.
okay.
I just need. Oh my god. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. You know what? I'm gonna do that again. Like that was so bad. I'm actually gonna start over. And hopefully I'll remember not to use the first jam. Like, because I still had remnants of that Star Crunch in my mouth, and I kind of, when I sneezed, like snot and saliva came out, and yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway, let me start over. Here we go. Ow, jam. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mana Pool. Nailed it this time. This is episode 646 of the Mana Pool, and I didn't just have to pause my intro to sneeze and was gross. No, that wasn't me. What are you talking about? Other dorks, say something.
Oh no, I'm enjoying this way too much. I'm Brian, the lead rambler and tangent master of the group, but I want to hear more about Chewie.
I hate you.
I'm Mike. I'm the rules guy and game lore guy, and even though I don't think he's going to go any further with it, I'm curious too.
We have no Dirk because Dirk is currently in Hawaii, so I wouldn't be during the show either. And you're right. Yeah, I'm not gonna. We're done. So.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Oh yeah, I'm Chewy. Hi. I don't even think I said that. So how about I have an idea.
What you got?
Excuse me. I have hiccups now after that sneeze. That totally didn't happen. So we're doing new Capenna stuff again this week because that's the shiny new thing. And I scrolled down to the lands, and there are more cycles down here that weren't here last week.
That's correct.
So last week we had the rare ones with the 3 basic land types that enter the battlefield tapped and have cycling 3.
Yes.
And that's a cycle. And then there's an uncommon cycle. Nope, that's a common. Is that common?
That's common.
Wow, you're right. The other cycles are common. That's weird.
They're both. I thought the first one here was uncommon, but no, they're both common cycles. And it's a dual land. I assume this is a cycle because there's like 3 of them here. Oh no, all 5 of them are here. Okay. It's a dual land that enters the battlefield tapped. No land types. Taps for either color, of course, because dual land. Yeah, but you can pay
friendly pairs.
Yeah, friendly colors. And you can pay 2 and 1 of each color that it makes. So the Botanical Plaza, for instance, is 2, a green and a white. And tap and sacrifice it to draw a card. And that's what they all do. So the Botanical Plaza, the Racer's Ring, the Skybridge Towers, the Tramway Station, which I like that, and the Waterfront District. I did not catch that those were common. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And since the 3 color combinations are the shard combinations, they're all adjacent to each other. That means each of these is applicable to 2 of the different syndicates. What are we calling these?
Families?
Shards.
Families.
Criminals.
Ne'er-do-wells.
Ne'er-do-wells. Is the collective noun for ne'er-do-wells a Scarface? Is it a Scarface of ne'er-do-wells?
I like it.
There is a card that the flavor text is "Say hello to my little friend."
Is there a raccoon on that card?
It has some sort of small animal. On my phone, when I was looking at it earlier, I couldn't tell what it was.
So the other cycle, so that's cool, for limited especially, because it's common, fills out your colors, and then later draws you a card. That's freaking sweet. Swit? I was going to say sick and sweet, and it came out freaking Swit. like Loretta Swit.
Reference for a second. Yeah.
She was in MASH, right? Yeah. I think she died not long ago.
Did you hear about Gilbert Gottfried?
Yeah, it was hard not to.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
So just
Yep.
this year now, we've lost Louis Anderson and Bob Saget and Gilbert Gottfried. So it's a bummer.
Gosh.
Right?
Right.
But okay, this other cycle is another common cycle. At least I think it's a cycle. There's only 3 currently on the card image gallery, but there's no way this isn't a full cycle.
Yeah.
And they're a little weird. They say when
that
this
was
land...
exactly what I was going to say. Go ahead.
Yeah. They say when this land enters the battlefield, sacrifice it. And when you do, you search your library for a basic, and it lists the 3 types that go with that family, or Scarface. And so the Cabaret courtyard is mountain, forest, plains. So you search for a basic one of those, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle, and you gain 1 life. And that's it.
Yeah, I really like the feel of this.
It's interesting to me that it just straight up enters, then automatically sacrifices itself.
Yeah.
So you don't have the wait to do it later, like Terramorphic Expanse or Evolving Wilds, and you're locked into these 3, and you got just a little bit of life gain in there. So, I mean, I think it's fine. I'm just not used to seeing a land that immediately goes, and I'm gone. So I'm kind of wrapping my head around it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's what the vast majority of us do with Evolving Wilds anyway.
Well,
Yeah. We just say, Evolving Wilds, I'm going to get a forest, go ahead. And then start searching and start shuffling.
Exactly.
Yep.
And I'm sure that there are some real and fake strategic reasons to not. And then the things like landfall and whatnot, you know. But without all of the, well, in this corner case, then it's just what you do anyway. So, hey, there you go.
Yeah.
Just make it a triggered ability.
Yeah.
I like it. And the tiny little bit of life gain on each one is just cute. Like, aw.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, again, common cycle. Because when you're dealing with 3 and even 4 color decks in limited, you want the fixing that both of these cycles represents to be at common.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I like it.
Yeah, it just took me, like I said, just a little bit of surprise. I don't know that we've seen a whole lot of instant, boom. But I think it does exactly what it needs to do. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that it for the lands?
Looks like it, yeah.
Did we cover all of the family leaders last time?
Yes.
Okay.
We did not cover all of the Planeswalkers, though, because it turns out Mob Nixilis had been shown, but not in any of the places we looked. He was in the collecting New Capenna page that, is like, hey, look at how we're trying to fleece you for money. Here's all the ways. And he was in that article, or that page.
I saw that after we hung up.
Yeah, I did too, and I went, oh, well, okay, we'll do Mob Nixilis next week. So, somebody read Ob Nixilis. In his pinstripe suit, looking all fine.
Okay. Mike, you want it, or do I got it?
I'll do it. I started scrolling to the M section.
Got it up, so. Okay. All right. I'll take this guy. Ob Nixilis, the Adversary, which is apparently the title he's taken for himself, and he's trying to build his own crime family using Halo.
That's way cooler than the Kingpin, by the way. I just want to say.
Yeah.
Costs 3 mana, 1 a black and a red, and comes in with 3 loyalty. Legendary Planeswalker, Nixilis. He is mythic, since I know we've had a couple smatterings of other less than mythic Planeswalkers, although not really since War of the Spark. So, straight up, he has the Casualty. Is that keyword or ability word? He's got that thing. Keyword, thank you. His is Casualty X, and it has text on here. The copy isn't legendary and is starting loyalty X. So, as you cast Obnixilis the Adversary, you may sacrifice up to one creature with total power X. As a reminder from last week, you can't sacrifice a bunch of creatures to get up there. It's just up to one creature with total power. So let's say, for the sake of this discussion, you sacrifice a creature with power 4. Great. So when you do that, you copy this spell. The copy becomes a token. So you end up with 2 Obnixilis, the adversary, the physical card one that you played, and then the token copy. And the token, in the example I gave, actually comes in with 4 loyalty. It also notes again that the copy isn't legendary, so they don't immediately go, I don't like you, and one of them dies. For the purpose of this discussion, just sticking to him, comes in with 3 loyalty, has 3 abilities, plus 1 loyalty. Each opponent loses 2 life unless they discard a card. If you control a demon or devil, you gain 2 life.
Yay.
Yay, little Punisher activation. -2 loyalty. Create a 1/1 red devil creature token with, when this creature dies, it deals 1 damage to any target. That ability was a -0 on one of the planeswalkers from the D&D set last year. But that was a mono red planeswalker, and it cost 4, and that was kind of that card's whole thing. So here it's to, offset the first ability and give you some protection. Finally, Limit Break -7. Target player draws 7 cards and loses 7 life. Because
Huh.
Grizzlebrand. I mean, he's.
Huh. This is a
So,
weird card.
you play the second ability, um, like to keep them alive, but otherwise you're just constantly like hitting them with that first ability. And as long as you've got a devil or demon, no matter what they choose, you're gaining some life, so you're protecting your own life total until you can then limit break and put all that life you gained to some good use. Also, interestingly enough, if you make a copy and that copy has around 7 loyalty, you're going to hit that limit break a lot faster. Of course, then you've got to sacrifice a big dude. But I don't know. Hey, Mike, how big is a Palaka worm? Is it,
Blockworm
7?
has a 7 power.
Yay! It's going into green, but
And
haven't
when it
you
enters the
seen it?
battlefield, you gain 7 life.
Oh, I forgot about that. I knew it did. Like, and when it
And
dies,
when
you
it
draw a
dies, you
card.
draw a card. Yeah, so that's a
Oh,
great pairing.
hey, I was just naming. I was just like, hey, Palaka worm. Um, cool. So play Jund.
Or, just play Palaka Worm because it's awesome.
Palaka worm is pretty awesome no matter what. Yeah.
Or
I like
play
how this goat.
what is the Jund in this set? The
The
Maestros.
Here's,
No.
no, the riveters, right?
Or the
yeah, there's yours.
Riveteers.
Riveteers.
Is that the Jund one?
Yes.
Yes.
I still think
And
it's a dumb name.
their thing is rush, which honestly pairs really well with casualty. So,
Yeah. It gets pricey mana wise, but yes, if you can pull it off, it's awesome.
but the good thing about Obnixilis is he only costs 3 mana no matter what. Like, and the thought, I remember a couple people playing with the Jace that you could get an extra copy of him, and he costs 4 or 5 mana. So here would I guess
That
the
one's only
question is,
that one from
what's that?
Ixalan. That one was only 3 also.
Was it?
The Pirate Jace.
Yeah, but didn't you have to pay extra to do something to get a copy? I don't remember. I don't want
Oh, I might be thinking about something else, or just
I don't
misremembering
want
entirely.
But so I guess to stay centered, would you pay 3 mana and sacrifice a creature to get 2 copies of this? I'd say
Yeah.
probably. I mean,
I
activate
mean-
that first ability twice a turn.
Yeah, I was gonna say I could be super happy with dropping a 1/1, just to get a second +1 every turn until they die.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or they have to focus on it, and or did you mean they like the opponent, or they like the Obnixilis?
No, the Obnixilis, yeah.
Okay, I thought you meant the opponent. I'm like, yeah, I mean, yeah, the ultimate goal is to, kill your opponent in the game, So, but yeah, and it's something else they have to target, otherwise they're gonna feel that effect.
So is that what they mean by mob deep? Because it's not just one mob Nixilis, it's multiple mob Nixilis.
Yeah, yeah.
The other planeswalker that we didn't see last week was Vivian.
Oh right.
And I don't think she was previewed at all at that time. But I also missed Mob Nixilis, so I don't know.
Also, she's green, isn't she?
Yeah. So
she
hey,
is.
Dirk. Oh, I'm sad.
Oh, now I'm sad.
Yeah. So someone that's not me.
So, Vivian, this is really interesting. It's one of these planeswalkers that's not set up like how you would normally expect a planeswalker to be set up. So for 6 mana, 4 green, Vivian on the Hunt starts with 4 loyalty. And there's 3 abilities. The first, a +2, you may sacrifice a creature. If you do, search your library for a creature card with mana value equal to 1, plus the sacrificed creature's mana value, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle.
Ah.
So, +2, upgrade a creature birthing pod style.
Yep.
Which is a +2. That's
Yeah.
pretty nice.
So do that and get 2 more loyalty. So the second ability is a +1. So Vivian has 2 plus abilities. The +1 is mill 5 cards, then put any number of creature cards milled this way into your hand.
Seems pretty good.
Yeah. So +1, maybe, if you built your deck a certain way, +1, draw 2 or 3 cards unless you get unlucky.
Yeah. In
Seems
which case
good.
you just threw in a bunch of not creatures into your graveyard.
Yeah. But then the last ability is just -1. Create a 4/4 green Rhino Warrior creature token.
Rocks.
Yeah, so it's just -1 to get a 4/4 Rhino Warrior. That's awesome. But it's also, because it's just a normal creature token that isn't like a copy of something else, it's something that can start the chain for a +2 if you need to start at the beginning, or if you want to, or if you need something that costs 1 to do something else.
Right. Because you can play her, make a Rhino Warrior, next turn, +2 her, sack the Rhino Warrior, get a Llanowar Elf?
Yeah, or whatever.
Yeah, and just
Probably
into
like
any one cost.
Yeah, or
Ooh, Noble Hierarch.
That's what I was about to say, Noble Hierarch.
Once again, plays well with Rush. Play the creature. Attack with it. Sack it for the +2. And keep in mind you're using that creature's mana value, not their rush. Blitz. Sorry, Blitz. I said rush, didn't I? Blitz. Blitz works with a lot of stuff. Speaking of which, did you see the Thragtusk next to Vivian?
Yes.
Chewy, did you see the Workshop War Chief?
I did. It's so for 3 green, it's a 5/3 rare Rhino Warrior with trample. When he enters the battlefield, you gain 3 life. When he dies, you create a 4/4 Rhino Warrior. And then it has blitz of 4 green. So not quite Thragtusk.
Not quite Thragtusk, but I feel like this is gotta be an allusion to that, right? I mean,
yeah.
Oh, almost certainly, yeah.
Yeah, and that was pretty good. Now the other half of that was Restoration Angel, but still, Thragtusk was always pretty good. So, and this guy has a wrench.
Also, wasn't Thragtusk leaves the battlefield ability?
It was. That's why
Yes.
Restoration Angel was the other half.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
my brain just was like, hang on, something doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a less abusable Thragtusk, but
Yeah.
I mean, 6 mana for a 5 attack with trample and 3 life and a 4/4.
That if you're paying the 6, also, you know.
Oh, and a card draw.
replaces
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah, you get a
Yeah.
card. Yeah. That it
Card.
replaces itself on the battlefield as well. Your hand is really feels really
It's
good.
just gross, right?
Yeah,
Plus, he does have a big ass wrench.
he does. So, I know we've got other mythics and stuff to talk about, but just looking at Vivian, I'm like, yeah, these two go well together. So
He's also got a picture of himself holding the same wrench behind him. Is he doing a Citizen Kane here or something?
I
think
saw that.
so.
Yeah. Or maybe he's saying he's not Spartacus. I'm not sure. All right. So we've kind of got a lot of other cards. How do we want to tackle the mythics? Do we want to tackle the other like ascensions or other
I think we
card
need to talk
cycles?
about the plant dinosaur.
Plant dinosaur?
We do.
Yeah,
It's great.
I mean,
it is.
oh
pretty
yeah,
big.
this guy, the Topiary Stomper. And you might go, if you just hear the name, you'd be like, is it the topiary stomping things, or is it something stomping on the topiary? And the chances are with this, both, but more of the first. So the topiary stomper, get this, for 1 and 2 green, 3 mana, is a 4/4 plant dinosaur. Rare with vigilance. Now, Mike and Chewy, both of you, back in when around the time I started playing, and certainly back when you started playing, a 3 mana 4/4, even in green, would have a downside, right? I mean, like,
Yeah.
some sort of downside.
Pay green,
Okay.
green, green during your upkeep, or this punches you.
Yeah. We've got a little bit of one here, but listen to this. So, 4/4 for 3, Vigilance. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for a basic land card. Put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Because, get it? Topiary. Get it? Land. Now, here's the only drawback. Topiary Stomper can't attack or block unless you control 7 or more lands.
That's pretty big.
That's pretty big, but this is the 3 mana kind of rampant growth that you just kind of play and then they forget about until all of a sudden it can attack and block. And in limited, at least, 4/4 is still pretty decent size. So I'd still say it's still relevant later in the game.
Oh,
But,
for sure. It just
yeah.
don't get carried away with, oh, it's a 4/4 for 3 with a rampant
Nope.
growth attached. I mean, technically it's not until way later.
Yeah.
But I do like the idea of out of nowhere, you just go attack with my 4/4 and they go, wait, what? And you point at the land you just played.
Yeah. It's been sitting here the whole time.
That's 7. 1,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5. Damn it!
And it is a 3 mana 4/4. So Obnixilis is like, hey, yeah, pretty cool. Not to mention he can help you get a swamp or mountain to help out with that.
Yep.
And Vivian is like, okay, I'm going to recycle this topiary.
So what you're saying is play Jund.
I'm saying play Jund. Maybe that'll be the name of the episode. Play Jund. Chewy, have you seen Bootlegger's Stash?
Don't know. What color is it?
It's in green. It's an artifact. Starts with a B.
Does it now? Bootlegger's Stash. For 5 and a green, it's a mythic. Oh, I did see this. It's a mythic artifact that says, lands you control have, tap, create a treasure token. What the hell is this?
I mean, I'm surprised it doesn't
Glad it's
say
an artifact
like,
cost 6.
Right?
yeah, it has to be, right? I was surprised it didn't say a tapped artifact. No, it just straight up says lands you control have tap created treasure token. So you play this, and then I can just see in multiplayer every round after that, you're just like, just wait. Unless you have something you have to do on your turn, it's going to wait. And then at the end of Mike's turn, just make X amount of treasures and then untap and have double the amount of mana you did. You're just after that point, you're effectively never going to be tapped out. I get where you're coming from, whereas it has to cost 6. But the funny thing with this sort of effect is the more it costs to play, by that nature, now assuming it lasts a turn, which dies to removal, woo, you're already talking about having that much more mana. That's crazy. Or you could, I don't know, if you're being really dirty, you could tap 6, play Bootlegger's Stash, attack with your creature that has a sort of feast and famine, and untap all your lands. I mean, that's a thing too. So,
Sure.
I mean, because you're playing Jund, right? So, yeah. But no, this is, you think about it, this is a fairly simple concept. Oh, your lands can make a treasure, but the implications of it are huge, right?
Massive.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah.
Hey,
Not to mention
that was Al with the 55 months. Jesus.
um not to mention, I was going to say, in this set, it's important to note that treasures tap and sack for any type of mana. So it also fixes
Treasures
your
always
mana.
do that.
Oh no, I know. I just important for this set in particular. I
Oh.
shouldn't have said in this set treasures do that. That doesn't.
Yeah,
They
I was
haven't
about to
changed how they
say,
work.
did I miss something?
In this set, they give you fairy money. No, um, just in the context of this set, in case you were wondering how to make your 5-color deck work, well, this helps. So yeah, I saw that and I was like, oh, and then I reread it and I'm like, oh yeah, that's nuts. That is nuts.
Yeah, this
If you
is some
see that,
commander nonsense right here.
yeah. Oh yeah, this isn't constructed at all. Now watch. I haven't been in constructed for a while. Somebody will take this and it'll just be insane. Uh, control decks never tapping out again sounds cancerous, but yeah, this is definite commander nonsense right up.
Oh, hey, Mike resubbed too for
Mhm.
25 months. Wow. And earlier, I'm the dork resubbed for 55 months. Wow.
Ooh, Al said in the chat, time sieve.
Yeah,
Gross.
Al,
I'm sick.
you go to hell.
Time sieve. What is it like? An artifact that costs blue black? It's from the original Shards of Alara, but you tap it and sacrifice 5 artifacts to get an extra turn.
Yep.
Oh yes, but you have to sacrifice the time sieve itself, right?
Nope.
No.
All right, all right, everybody out. Congratulations. This is why you can't have nice things.
And I think Jay Spencer in the chat might have been slightly. I don't know if he was just chiming in or if he misunderstood something we were saying. He said Vivian can't get creatures out of the graveyard if she isn't the one that mills them. And I didn't hear anything we said that made it sound like she could.
I mean, that is a factual statement.
It is,
That is
but I'm
how.
trying to figure out like what we said that made him say that because he said it a little while
Hmm,
later.
maybe I don't know. Maybe we implied something.
I don't know.
I don't know. Hey,
I'm
Mike.
I'm I'm concerned or confused.
Hey,
Confuzzled?
Mike.
What?
Did you see the all-seeing arbiter because it saw you?
I think I did. Um,
It's kind of nuts.
Yes, I think this had been previewed somewhere. Like, I think I saw it on Facebook last week, but I don't know if it was here.
A Chewy, it's in blue.
Brian said Vivian could get the topiary stomper back. No, Brian said when he said recycle, not meaning the card recycle, but take the 4/4 that couldn't attack or block and turn it into a 4-drop is what Brian meant when he said recycle.
Yeah.
Which, like recycle, like haha plant, like ha ha ha. So sorry.
Yeah. Not the magic turn recycle. So now I understand. Right.
Gotcha. No, I just meant the topiary stomper played well with both of the planeswalkers we had been talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, so All-Seeing Arbiter. It's Dr. Manhattan. Minus, the dong.
You're not wrong.
Is this a statue? No, it's a creature.
Yeah, no, it's just a mysterious floating being.
Yeah. It's not a story spotlight card. I don't know if it'll have some significance in the story, or if it here's a hall monitor for, the gangs, or if it's just a neat card here. So
I would guess that. But what's it do, Mike?
All right, so for 4 blue, it's a 5/4 avatar with flying, and it is one of the mythics. And whenever the All-Seeing Arbiter enters the battlefield or attacks, draw 2 cards, then discard a card. Also, whenever you discard a card, target creature and opponent controls gets -X/-0 until your next turn, where X is the number of different mana values among cards in your graveyard.
Now, does that include? They've changed its terminology. It's not converted mana cost anymore. Does a mana value include color?
No.
No, it's just a number.
Okay, that's what I thought. So I just wanted to be clear about that.
Yeah. You can't give something minus Wooburg. That doesn't make any sense.
I gotcha. X is the number of different mana values. So
yeah, so you could have something that costs 1 and a green, and something that costs green, and something that costs 2. And Brian is wondering, is that 3?
Yeah, after
is that 3 or is that 1?
After my stupid remark came out of my mouth, I realized it didn't make any sense.
I mean, if you want to give a creature minus Uberg, you can, but not with this. So, but the answer is it's essentially the new phrasing for converted mana cost. You okay?
Yeah. You could give something from minus Uberg if you want. Mike is like, I'll give you minus Wooburg. Shut up. Your mom has minus Wooburg.
So this is a neat card, and we don't see avatars a whole lot, but they tend to stand out when they're here.
Yeah, and there's 3 more movies in the works?
There are. Oh, that Avatar.
Yeah.
I was thinking of the good Avatar. Sorry.
What?
Oh. But so this seems to play pretty well with what's the Obscura effect? The Connive. Yeah. Well, I guess Connive is its own thing. This isn't going to count toward it, but it goes along with the theme of draw and then discard. And there is a sub theme in this set, if you read the cards, of especially 5. If you have 5 or more different mana values among cards in your graveyard, then something turns on, something. So, which plays in well with Connive and Casualty, because you're sacking stuff. So, yeah. But I mean, otherwise, it's a neat blue creature.
Yeah, big naked blue guy.
Yep.
So let's see. We did Elspeth last week.
We did.
And the Halo Fountain. Any more Mythic cards in the card image gallery at the moment. Oh, there's two in
Uh,
black right here at the top.
Yeah, literally right next to each other.
All right, I'm gonna read the Body Launderer because it's called Body Launderer. Launderer.
It's kind of
So
a weird card.
I'll take your word for it. I haven't read it yet. For 2 black, it's a 3/3 Ogre Rogue. That's one of those that's fun to say. Ogre Rogue. Ogre Rogue. Sounds like something that Peter Pan and the Lost Boys would scream at each other. Ogre Rogue! Anyway. Cockadoodle, shut up. Anyway, you're right. 2 black, 3/3 Ogre Rogue with Death Touch. And whenever another non-token creature you control dies, Body Launderer connives. So as a reminder, connive is you draw a card and discard a card. And then if you discarded a non-land, it gets a +1/+1 counter.
Yes.
Yeah. Are you proud of me? I remembered that.
It's very good.
Good job.
But we're not done yet. Because when Body Launderer dies, you return another non-rogue creature card with equal or lesser power from your graveyard to the battlefield. Ooh. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, that's very good.
Oh, I like that a lot.
It's like strictly value time. Value town. And time.
While
It's
you're
time for
laundering
value.
the bodies. Why is it... Like, I get that the joke is money laundering, but... Body laundering?
Well, let's see. Every time something dies, you can knife. So leading up to its last ability of reanimating something, the things dying and the conniving can both feed it. And if you're discarding creature cards to the connive to set up something cool for the last ability, it's also growing, which, I'm sure is part of what's leading you to whatever cool thing you want to do to reanimate something when this dies. So I get the laundering angle.
It's very strange. Hey, Scuzzo with a resub for 50 months. Holy crap. We're just... Look at all these big numbers. Thank you. All of you. So, okay, so that's the Body Launderer. Ogres have changed because he just looks like a big dude. Like, I'm not seeing
that's
any...
what the ogres... That's what most of the ogres look like in Capenna.
Oh.
From looking at the other cards.
They're just kind of the heavies.
Yeah, some of them are a little oogly and particularly ogre looking. But
ogrish.
Yeah, there you go, ogrish.
Play Jund. All right, what's this other mythic thing do?
The Angel of Suffering, which now this is interesting because supposedly angels built this city.
On rock and roll?
With or without rock and roll, we're not sure. But I don't... Like, when Elspeth... I've started to catch up with the story. I've made it through about 1.5 parts of the story, but Elspeth seems to be thinking that they're not around anymore. So this one seems to be here, and there's a couple others that we've seen in this set, but this one seems to be, like, ticked. So this is the Angel of Suffering. For 3 and 2 black, it's a 5/3 Nightmare Angel. It has flying, and if damage would be dealt to you, prevent that damage and mill twice that many cards. So I'm picturing a card. It's got a goblin in a collapsing tunnel. Where you could Crumbling Sanctuary, where you had like the option of doing this, I think. Was it mandatory?
I don't think Crumbling Sanctuary was optional. I'm pretty sure it was mandatory. I'll look it up.
Okay. All right. But so the flavor text is, if you wish for blessings, mortal, ask your demon masters. We've given enough to your kind. So sounds kind of
Damn.
like, yeah,
Yeah. So Crumbling Sanctuary exiles, and it works on all players.
ah. So basically turns damage into damage game into a milling game.
Yeah.
Whereas this just kind of does it for you,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, and
And
it's
if your life
milling.
total, yeah, it's milling stuff in the graveyard. That's almost like being in your hand. And if your
Yeah,
life total isn't being reduced by damage, that means you have it all to spend on stuff, which is
yeah.
awesome.
And if need be, you can always just find a way to kill your own angel and be like, oh look, I guess I'm back to 15 now. So yeah, this seems really good. There's a lot of potential here. And in the meantime, when you're not just being tricksy with it, you're just swinging in the air for 5. So seems pretty good.
Yeah, very exciting.
She is fresh out of Mercy, just all out.
She's giving 0 darns.
Thanks. Yeah. uh, anything else mythic in black? Doesn't look
Did we
like
do the
it.
black hideaway card? I can't remember which ones we did.
We did not. There's only one hideaway card that we did. It was the wiretapping in blue.
Oh.
Yeah, that was the only one because it was in the mechanics article.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, what's the black one do?
Can we talk about it? That the type line on that is Nightmare Angel, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Buh.
Yeah.
Just flavorfully, that makes me uncomfortable. Huh. Okay, anyway. So yeah, the black hideaway card is Cemetery Tampering. For 2 and a black, it has Hideaway 5. Which I think they all do. I think they all do.
They all do.
Which, as a reminder, when this enchantment enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 cards of your library, exile 1 face down, put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So, Cemetery Tampering says, at the beginning of your upkeep, you may mill 3 cards. Nice. Then, if there are 20 or more cards in your graveyard, you may play the exiled card without paying its mana cost. That's, yeah, that's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah. I see what you're doing there with your milling thing, and yeah.
Yeah. There's not much to say there, is there?
No.
I mean, you keep milling, and then you'll eventually get that card for free. But even if you don't, you're setting up your combos. So yeah.
Yeah.
We looked at the art on Cut of the Prophets because I don't know, like it's not the grossest art. Like we've seen gross, like body horror type stuff, but the what really gets me about it isn't even necessarily what they're doing to the guy, although that's kind of weird. It's the hands holding him down that just make it seem really like
Yeah, like I count I think 10 hands, and that's too many.
yeah. It just every part of this feels like a violation, and yeah. So, Cut of the Prophets is a sorcery. It's rare for X and 2 black. With well, I'll skip that next part for a second. You draw X cards and you lose X life. So if you want to Gristle brand it up, you pay 7 mana to 7 for X and then 2 black. It has casualty of 3. So if you sack a creature with power 3 or greater, you get 2 copies of this, and of course, X is the same for both.
Yeah.
So you don't yeah. That can get kind of ridiculous. The art is striking. Like they're using some sort of magic to divide this person's body up into gold bars, which sounds weird. You kind of have to see it. And the flavor text is everybody is worth their weight in gold. And I'm just I don't just something about this doesn't make me uncomfortable. It just makes me go like, maybe uncomfortable is the right word.
I was about to say that sounds like discomfort.
Yeah. Yes, just don't owe money to the mob. I think, which is a good life lesson in general.
It's true.
Yeah.
Thinking like x equals 2 is where I feel like you're getting good value out of using the casualty. Because if x equals 2, you've paid 4 mana and you had to sacrifice a creature. You end up drawing 4 cards and losing 4 life. Not great, but nice, solid if you need some cards. And beyond that point, I think the numbers really start to shine.
Yeah.
If you have the life to back it up, of course.
Yeah.
Because then you're getting into the realm of, at 5 mana, you're getting 6 cards, but you need 6 life to spend. So just.
Yep.
Oh. That was me hitting my headset, and it essentially it clapped my ear. So that was that sound you just heard. Yeah, that's because I'm an idiot. Hey Mike, did you see Shadow of Mortality?
I did. It's really cool. So, Shadow of Mortality is another avatar. This one's rare. It costs 13 and black, so a total of 15. And it's a 7/7. Not the best rate. But if your life total is less than your starting life total, this spell costs X less to cast, where X is the difference.
This is giving me really strong. Is it Death Shadow?
Death Shadow, yeah. Death Shadow
Vibes?
costs 1, and its power and toughness, fluctuate based on your current life total.
Right. And is somewhat busted,
Mm-hmm.
just, from all sorts of. There's all sorts of ways to abuse that. This feels safer. Because it's a 7. At the end of the day, it's a 7/7. Not a 13/13 plus or minus.
Yeah, like
Right.
a 7/7 for 3 is still a 7/7.
Right. I like the image. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I really love the art on Shadow of Mortality.
It almost looks like the shadow is saving that person. Like they're falling and they're being plucked. But just from the mood of the card, I think it's kind of the other way around.
Yeah, I get the feeling it's picked him up from the ground and is lifting him up.
Mm-hmm.
I think that makes more sense.
Build your towers as tall as you want. The shadow always reaches higher. Message scrawled on an alley wall. That's the flavor text.
Dang kids. They're, graffiti of
Frickin'
eldritch beasts.
Bunch of Banksy wannabes.
Back in my day, it was just El Bardo was here. Now it's like, creatures from beyond.
Wow. Wow, okay. El Bardo. Wow.
Taking it back.
Like all the way back.
Yeah.
Okay, so I went and looked in Gatherer just to check on something. So, Brian, if you sacrifice this to Vivian's +2, you can go get your boy Draco.
Yes. Yes. You know me so well.
Jesus. Worth.
My heart is on fire.
Oh, man. Hey, Brian.
Legend, yes.
Yeah, I think you should read Arcane Bombardment.
Arcane Bombardment. I cast Magic Missile, but according to her hands, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 12 times. So, Arcane Bombardment. This is awesome. You remember Eye of the Storm? Yeah. So, for 4 and 2 red, it's an enchantment, it's mythic. Whenever you cast your first instant or sorcery spell each turn, exile an instant or sorcery card at random from your graveyard. Then copy each card exiled with Arcane Bombardment. You may cast any number of the copies without paying their mana cost. Now, the neat thing about Eye of the Storm is that everybody gets in on it, but sometimes that gets silly and somebody bounces it, and you're like, oh, here you just do your own thing. You just start getting, you just start building up this massive, like, all right, I get to just in red and just like damage spells if you want to be a little uncreative, but you want to go for just, sheer stopping power. It's like I played a spell. Now I also get to copy every spell that's already been exiled with this, like let's say Lightning Bolt and Shock and Lava Spike. And oh, wait, you're already dead, aren't you? Because it's a lot of damage. But if you want to get really creative, then, time stop sort of stuff, like time warp sort of things, as long as they aren't exiled. Um, Draw spells,
Yeah.
token makers, go nuts.
And it's a slow build because it's just your first instant or sorcery spell each turn.
Each turn. But
So
it doesn't
if
say
you
on
really
your
want,
turn.
yeah. And so if you really want to go nuts, you're going to need more than one opponent. But in that case, you're playing the kind of game where it's not unreasonable to play a 6-mana enchantment and start doing something with it on subsequent turns.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it. It's one of those cards where I'm almost like, it's so open ended. I don't have a whole lot else to say about it because it's like, what should you do with it?
Whatever the hell you want.
Whatever you want, as long as it's instants and sorceries. Go nuts. And somewhere there will be that guy that does this in a counterspell deck. Because no matter what they hit, it's just going to counter your spell. Don't be that guy. Clues would be upset with you.
Clue, yeah. You make the clues cry.
You don't want that. Other red mythic was Rask. We talked about him last time.
Can we talk about call in a professional?
We can call in a talk about it.
Because this is
It's
just like Flames of the Bloodhand again, right?
Sort of. It kind of lives in between Flames of the Bloodhand and Skullcrack. Flames of the Bloodhand only did 4 damage and it can only damage players, I think. Skullcrack, I think, also can only damage players, but it costs 2 and deals 3 damage.
Yeah, Flames of the Bloodhand was 3 for 4 damage. I remember that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But call in a professional for 2 and a red. It's an uncommon instant. Players can't gain life this turn. Damage can't be prevented this turn. And call in a professional deals 3 damage to any target.
My damage will stick. Oh, yes, it will. Oh, yes, it will.
And it even has reminder text. Shield counters don't prevent this damage as they're removed. Which I find hilarious that they specifically put that as reminder text.
Yeah, since there's enough shield counters in the set, I think Angry Goth Angel doesn't stop this either, right? Because that just says prevent that damage and mill twice that many cards. Ooh, so yeah, if
Mill twice that many cards,
yeah, so you take 3 and mill 6 cards,
Mm-hmm.
which maybe what you're going for, but you probably don't want the damage on top of it. So
Probably. Also, hey, Violet Moon just resubbed for 21 months and said, Colin, a professional. No. Leon was the professional. Colin was in, what was that movie? In Bruges. Which, if you've never seen In Bruges, I highly recommend it. It's a very bizarre movie about two hitmen that are stuck in what they call the most boring town in Europe. And it had Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson, I want to say. Pretty sure that's right. Don't watch it if you don't like swearing, though.
Well, balls.
Some people are more turned off by that than others.
Well, and because Brendan Gleeson is playing, someone from the UK somewhere, I forget. I think he's using his natural accent. He busts out the C word a lot, which coming from, someone with my accent would be bad, but coming from someone with his accent, it's like, so.
I have this threshold for swearing where I don't mind it, but there's a certain point at which, and I've seen this in shows and movies, where like, if it gets to the point that it's distracting me from what's actually going on, then I'm like, So, but
this is why Brian had a kid, was so I would stop swearing so much around him.
Oh yeah, it was you, totally.
It was the sole reason.
So, we've actually covered the green mythics because one was the booty, the treasure booty, and the other was Vivian. So
swiggity swooty.
There's actually just one mythic left on this page, and it is fascinating.
Okay, what is it?
If you haven't read it, you should read it. It's in Artifacts, and it's called
Artifacts. Okay.
It's called Luxior, Giada's Gift.
I have seen this because this card is really cool.
It is.
So, Luxior, Giada's Gift, which I find hilarious because Giada's is the place where I get Italian food down the street, and it's really freaking good. So, of course, Giada's Gift is really freaking good. But it is a legendary equipment for 1 mana that says equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each counter on it. And it equips for 3. Also, equipped permanent isn't a planeswalker and is a creature in addition to its other types. And it reminds you that loyalty abilities can still be activated. Now, that might make you go, what? Why does it say that? But then there's another line of text that I've left off that says equip planeswalker for 1 mana.
Do you miss Gideon? We think you miss Gideon.
I do, actually, like a lot.
Yeah.
Now everybody can be a Gideon. Minus the whole prevent all damage, blah, 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 whatever. If you ever just wanted to smash with your Jace, if you're like, Jace, take this sword. He's like, I don't want it. And you're like, take it.
Look, the Jace everybody wanted to smash was romance novel Pirate Jace. I get the feeling that's not what you meant, though, so just ignore me.
Oh, I can dig it. I'll go with it. But yeah, this is really interesting. And honestly, I'm really glad that line about loyalty abilities can still be activated is there, because if something isn't a planeswalker, I'd have to be like, okay, that's kind of an intrinsic ability of planeswalkers. But I guess they're saying that it still has all of its abilities, it's just no longer considered a planeswalker. So anything that says destroy target planeswalker won't work on it while it's holding Luxior.
Yeah, and in the rules themselves, it is totally possible for something that isn't a planeswalker to get a loyalty ability. But the way the rules for loyalty abilities are written, it's that anything with a loyalty ability can only activate one of its loyalty abilities once per turn.
I was just perusing things, and somewhere else in the set I saw something about copy an ability that isn't a loyalty ability. And I don't think it's just here just because of this. I think it was just it's, and I can't remember what card it is.
It's a blue-white card that does something. But yeah.
Okay. That sounds like
I think that was just to keep that card from being extra silly and confusing.
Probably. But yeah, I mean, so this seems really neat. It is a story spotlight card. If you recall, for the longest time, Elspeth had a sword, and it turned out to be the sword from Theros that she got when she was a little kid, and she's like, "Huh, neat." And then she, spaced out and left. She's been carrying it around. She went back to Theros, and Heliod turned it into the Godsend. And as soon as she did what he wanted him, which what he wanted her to do, and took care of Xenagos, is that his name? Xenagos?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, "Thanks," and stabbed her with it, and she died. So she kind of like lost her iconic weapon set, so looks like she's picking up something new. And I like it.
It's got a ball.
It does. It's all shiny. I bet that's Halo in there. I can see your Halo. Halo, Halo. Um,
Oh, I love
next.
Halo. That's Halo. He's the badass space marine, right?
Yeah.
Sort of like
Yes.
how Metroid is that badass bounty hunter chick, right?
Hmm.
Right, and Zelda's the one that goes around through all the dungeons.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And doesn't afraid of anything.
No. Hey, which one of the Marines is Contra? Because I never knew.
Oh, player one.
Oh, of course, duh. So that does it for the mythics, and I like that you can still use equip 3 to be like, oh look, this guy has a +1/+1 counter and a shield counter. Great, gets +2/+2.
Yeah, like we should point out there are a bunch of different flavors of counters running around in this set.
Oh yeah. So that does it for the
cool.
mythics. There's still a bunch of other really interesting cards, and I'm sorry. I feel like there's a bunch of stuff that we gotta talk about this. We gotta talk about that. We absolutely must talk about the most interesting sub theme in this set. In gold, go to exotic pets.
Pish.
What do those fish look like to you?
Is this a trick question?
Um,
Okay, they look like robber fish. They got the little black, like
The little
they
domino
look like,
mask. Yeah.
yeah, they look like criminal fish. So, exotic pets for one, a white and a blue. It's an instant, it's uncommon. Create two 1/1 blue fish creature tokens with this creature can't be blocked. Then for each kind of counter among creatures you control, put a counter of that kind on either of those tokens. So I was just talking, I think last week, about how much I love Raise the Alarm, and this is like that, but weirder and possibly better because you get two unblockables, possibly with +1/+1 counters, shield counters, etc. The flavor on this is great. Investigators observed that um, Antonio's beloved fish were thriving after his disappearance. So you might go, Brian, that's a weird card to talk about, like of all the things in the set, but they keep popping up.
yeah, I noticed the fish at other places too.
Oh, really?
In blue, there is an enchantment called Sleep with the Fishes. Because, mob. But look at the fish
Ah.
in the art.
Uh.
Yeah, it's the same fish. And ironically, so when we say you'll be sleeping with the fishes, not that I say it on a regular basis, but the allusion to crime and mafia in movies and TV show is, oh, we're gonna kill you and dump your body in the river. Here, it literally looks like there's some sort of aura around this person's head that they're purposely not dying. They're just sleeping with the fishes. Maybe it's relaxing that way. But the crime fish are around them.
Like,
And
is
just
it
real
like
quick. So
a sensory deprivation tank? You just hop in there with
I,
the fish and just.
I'm thinking maybe. Just 'cause this is a really quick card. It's that card for limited in this set for 2 and 2 blue. Enchantment aura uncommon. Enchant creature. When Sleep with the Fishes enters the battlefield, tap enchanted creature, and you create one of those fish. The 1/1 blue fish creature token with this creature can't be blocked. Enchanted creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. So it's that blue removal sort of thing, but it makes one of those fish. And the Kraken right above this makes those fish too, even though it doesn't have any of the crime fish in the art. So you can you know how with the set they try to keep the tokens like lined up, but
Yeah.
yeah. Have you seen the Reservoir token? The Reservoir Kraken. It's actually pretty cool.
I just
I like
read it.
a lot.
Oh, what's it
Okay.
do then?
Yeah, the Reservoir Kraken costs 2 and blue for a 6/6 with trample and ward 2. So 4 mana for a 6/6 trampler and ward 2. At the beginning of each combat, if Reservoir Kraken is untapped, any opponent may tap an untapped creature they control. If they do, tap Reservoir Kraken and create a 1/1 blue fish creature token with this creature can't be blocked. So
Crime
it's
fish.
yeah, it's a blue riff on Desecration Demon,
It
which
is.
and it's really cool.
Yeah, I like it. And I just keep seeing the fish. I'm gonna see the fish in my sleep.
And wow. So they can shut down the big thing and let you grow an army of unblockable fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slowly, but still. It's
or they
blue.
can
They don't that's what they do is slowly.
or they can take a hit or two from this, but it's got trample. So and that ward too is not insignificant. That's just
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that card's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it is good that they put in the if it's untapped thing, because I'm sure there was an issue online with Desecration Demon. It would continue to trigger even if someone had already tapped it on the previous turns. Like if someone had tapped it on your combat, it would trigger again during their turn. It's like, hey, you want to sacrifice a creature? And they're like, no, I just did. Stop it. Even though it was already tapped. So they probably
Stop
put
it.
that in there to save
some
clicks
help.
and just, yeah.
Makes sense.
Well, I just want to talk about the fish, but there's lots of other stuff to talk about here. So, what's
I
something
do
else you
love
want to
a
talk about?
fish. How about Mr. Orfeo in gold?
Okay.
Mr. Orfeo the Boulder. The Boulder! Which for 1 and a Jund, because play Jund, is
Yep.
an uncommon legendary creature rhino warrior. That's a 2/4. Okay? And it says whenever you attack, double target creature's power until end of turn. Notice it has nothing to do with Mr. Orfeo attacking. It's just whenever you attack, something of your... It doesn't say double target attacking creature's power until end of turn. So you could pump up something, like from a 2/2 to a 4/4 for casualty purposes that has nothing to do with combat.
Yeah.
Which is probably not necessarily the best idea, but, it's still an option. Like, the best thing to do, clearly, is to pump something with Double Strike. But... because then it's quadruple strike. I mean, what?
I love the flavor text.
Once he was jumped by a dozen Maestro's agents. You can still see their imprints in the pavement if you know where to look. Oh my god! I had not read that. I thought that was going in a different direction. The Boulder will have none of your nonsense. Huh. But yeah, I love a good Rhino Man. He's a good Rhino man.
Yeah, there's some interesting, rare and uncommon legends in this set for, not just commander purposes, but just interesting. There's one I saw here that I was like, actually, there's one legendary creature I saw earlier that I was like, yes, that'd be really interesting to do a deck around. And can I find it quickly? Probably not.
I was like, and
Nope.
which? Oh, okay. While Brian looks for that, hey Mike,
Hey,
how you doing?
pretty good.
Here's a card called Corpse Explosion.
Thank goodness.
Best set ever.
Awesome.
Okay, well, while Brian tries to find that, how about while we're on the Play Jund kick, how about Unleash the Inferno? I really like the design of this card.
Yeah.
So for 1 and a Jund, black, a red, and a green, it's a rare instant that says, Unleash the Inferno deals 7 damage to target creature or planeswalker. When it deals excess damage this way, destroy target artifact or enchantment an opponent controls with mana value less than or equal to that amount of excess damage. It's spell trample, but it doesn't just punch the controller. It punches one of their artifacts.
I mean, but it only destroys one of the artifacts if the artifact is like small enough, or if you like get up enough damage to
Yeah.
So that's super flavorful.
Yeah.
It has to hit a creature or planeswalker, so you can't just target them even if they have nothing. And then it basically carries over into something they quote unquote were holding. And if it's weak enough, it just destroys it. Yeah, I mean, this is like a home run on a flavor perspective. On a power level, this seems really good. For 4 mana, this is going to straight up just destroy something, and it might also take out something else. So
Yeah, like I
yeah,
really like this. 7 damage is a lot for 4 mana, but then it's a very specific 4 mana, so that's
yeah,
fine. But I just love that the way that it balances the toughness of the creature or planeswalker, or you know what I mean, or and the cost of the artifact or enchantment. It's
right.
chef's kiss.
So if you're gonna like burninate a Wormquill engine, you have to hit like a Llanowar elf first, or Noble Hierarch, since everybody just prefers him. So, but if you're just gonna take out like a Bone Splitter or a Bone Saw, then you can hit something really big. The Bone Saw was not ready.
Yeah. But if you really needed the 6 or 7 damage to take care of something, you're not going to feel too bad about missing a secondary
No.
effect.
Oh yeah, not
And I
at
mean,
all.
like if I'm like I gotta kill that thing, even if they don't have an artifact, I'm not gonna wait. I'm just gonna be like, yeah, that thing's dead. So I found the legendary creature I was thinking of, and it's funny because it's actually kind of a basic effect, but I feel like it ratchets up real quickly. Chewy, what is a creature type that you didn't know you'd ever see again? It's been printed. It's not Uncle Istvan. What is a creature type you never thought you'd see again?
Uh, my first thought is to say citizen, but I know there are citizen tokens in this set.
Actually, citizens are a big thing in this set.
Yeah.
What
There's
if
also
I told
regular creatures too.
What if I
there
told
are?
you there was a
No.
What if I
Okay.
told you there was a cephalid in this set?
Oh yeah, I saw that there were redesigned cephalids.
Yeah. So
Yeah, not
this,
necessarily redesigned, but they just look different on this plane.
which is a thing. I mean, like
Which is
goblins look
the
different.
definition of redesign. It looks different.
Well, yeah, but I see where Mike's coming from. When you say redesign, it sounds like they've kind of taken them back to the drawing board going forward.
Yeah, kind of like they
Whereas,
did slivers. Yeah.
yeah.
No,
Whereas,
this is more like the Vidalcan on different planes, because
Yes.
when they went from the Vidalcans we originally saw to later ones, I mean, it's a redesign of the type. Shut
It
up.
is. It is. So here we've got.
Yeah, you try to
darn
say
I
it.
can't. What is that?
Queza? Queza?
Queza.
Queza? Yeah, that.
The Augur of Agonies. For 1, a white, a blue, and a black. So he, I'm not sure, is an Obscura, which of course is the family with Connive, so lots of drawing. Legendary creature, Cephalid Advisor. Haven't seen them since really Odyssey? So, because they were going
God,
to
have
replace
we not
Merfolk.
seen any cephalids since Odyssey? Really?
Unless they're reprinting a core set. No, they haven't shown up
Because
otherwise.
Not even
they
in like a
decided-
modern something, or
I
don't think we have. I think you're right.
I mean, they wanted to move away from
Yeah.
Merfolk because they wanted to like give blue another staple race. And they did Cephalid, and immediately were like, this isn't going to work. And then they brought in Vidalcan, which actually Vidalcan, I think they were able to work with.
Well,
better.
part of the thing with Cephalid is also Odyssey block, is they were trying to explore using completely different tribes than what people were used to
Yeah.
seeing in each color.
Oh yeah, like dwarves and berserkers and yeah.
Oh, Stark
So-
points out. He said, "I think there was one in Onslaught." Yeah, He's right.
Oh,
Oh
What?
yeah,
What?
but that was the next. That was Ambassador Laquatus.
no, Ambassador
And-
Price was a merfolk.
Yeah, that
Oh,
was.
that's right. He was a merfolk, not yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna look this up in another window while Brian talks, because that's gonna
Okay.
bug me.
So this creature is a legendary Cephalid Advisor, uncommon, 3/4 for 4. That's fine. Whenever you draw a card, target opponent loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life. Now, Mike, if I have a
Callus
card
Oppressor.
that's
Was a cephalid.
yes, that was the one that you could like name a creature type and gain control of a creature of that type.
No, gain
Wow.
control of a creature. An opponent chooses a type, and you can steal stuff that isn't that type.
Ah, yes. I remember Corey used that quite a bit. So,
Yeah.
but
It
here,
you were it looks like there was one in Legions as well.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
Cephalid
The
Path
Path Mage. Oh, yeah.
I don't see any for Scourge. Gosh, that's weird. For a second I thought Stark was punking us with a Mistform Ultimus reference, but no, he's right.
I was thinking of the Cephalid Path Mage. I'm not going to lie. I forgot. I didn't even know Callus Oppressor was one, but that's the first one I saw, and I went, oh, yeah. No. The Path Mage was the one in my head. Because whenever someone would play a Cephalid Path Mage when we were all playing around the table in college, there would always be raised eyebrows. Because why'd you play that? What? It's just a 1/2. Why did you play that? The Cephalid Path Mage, for anyone that don't know, has an ability to tap and sacrifice it. Target creature can't be blocked this turn. And, back in the day when we were all just getting into it, it was a large creature that couldn't be blocked was, the worst.
A major problem.
yeah. I used Cephalid Path Mage with Phage one time. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay, anyway, back to
So
Queza.
with
Queza?
this card,
Queza?
the Augur of Agonies. Again, whenever you draw a card, target opponent loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life. There's something important to distinguish here. Lately, they've gotten a little more into phrases like whenever you draw 1 or more cards, or this ability triggers only once a turn, etc., to kind of limit this. The way I read this, Mike, it's literally whenever I draw a card, this happens. So if I draw 7 cards, even if I draw them all at once, this ability will trigger 7 times.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. This feels fairly straightforward, but it feels like a really, feels like a really big effect. Like, how hard is it to draw cards?
Yeah,
Teferis puzzle box, baby.
it's not trivial. Yeah, it's not
So,
trivial, but it's not a big burden.
no. So I thought this screams to me very much a build around me commander card, and it's uncommon. So heck, I could see drafting this and being like, yes, let's go, because it's not like you. First of all, you want to draw cards, and you may just end up winning the game anyway with the cards that you draw. Like, oh, good, I zap you for 2, but I'm also swinging with these creatures I'm drawing. Um, but it also, in a board stall, just gives you inevitability. And it's
Yeah.
something that you don't need, like, to jump through these hoops. It's not like something that says, hey, whenever you do this really obscure ability, then something else happens. This is something that happens every turn. So, yeah.
Also, like, not even like going as far as a board stall. It just gives you a cushion
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
of life. Like, it gives you just enough of an advantage that in limited, especially, I can see mattering a lot. Because like I can see you playing this, and a 3/4 on the board is not nothing. But then if this thing survives, let's say 3 turns, that's a 6 life swing, which in limited is not insignificant.
Yeah.
And for every turn after that, never mind just drawing extra cards, but just sitting on the board, it's just gonna make that better and better and better to where eventually they're gonna have to kill it, which means something else isn't getting killed on your board.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like this in that kind of deck. Like, I wouldn't play this in. Well, it's the wrong colors for that, so never mind.
Mike, the card we were thinking of before with the loyalty / not loyalty ability is Scheming Fence.
There you go.
Scheming. So, but yeah.
Wait, what?
Neat.
What about Scheming Fence?
So Scheming Fence is for a white and a blue. It's a 2/3 human citizen. It's not just the tokens that have the citizen type. They also have regular creatures with it. And it's rare. So as Scheming Fence enters the battlefield, you may choose a non-land permanent. Activated abilities of the chosen permanent can't be activated. Scheming Fence has all activated abilities of the chosen permanent except for loyalty abilities. You may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to activate those abilities. So it can still shut off a planeswalker. It just can't use the loyalty abilities from it.
Yeah. Because he doesn't have a spark. Haha.
Or loyalty counters.
Labor. Well, in theory, if it had a +1 ability, that's all you need. So.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. He could not. He can shut down Sarkon the Mad, but he can never be Sarkon the Mad.
Scheming Fence is like, I'm gonna be a dragon. I said I'm gonna be a dragon. Damn it! Sarkon the Mad is the one that turns into a dragon, right?
It's the one that doesn't.
Son of a.
That's
why he's mad.
He is so mad.
Sorry, that wasn't Scheming Fence. That was Sarkon. I'm gonna be a dragon. See how I took my ignorance and I turned it and made it funny. Oh, that's the story of my life. I've been listening to You Look Nice Today again, Mike. Can you tell?
Oh, cool.
Well, gentlemen.
Where?
You two.
Oh, okay.
Why don't we finish talking about the Ascendancies? Because Ascendancies
Oh, yeah,
are
we should do
interesting.
that. Do we have them all?
The one we saw before was the Broker's Ascendancy. I think we might now have them all. The
Yeah,
Broker's
there's
Ascendancy,
brokers.
as a reminder, was the one at the beginning of your end step. Put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control, and a loyalty counter on each planeswalker you control.
Yeah,
So
that's
all you
totally
do is,
fine and fair.
yeah. Right. So what's the next one?
The Cabaret Ascendancy. So why not? I'll read that. For a red, a green, and a white, it's a rare enchantment that says, at the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. If it's a creature or planeswalker card, you may reveal it and put it into your hand. If you don't put the card into your hand, you may put it on the bottom of your library. So it's either an extra draw or it's a draw filter.
Yeah, it's either an extra card or a scry one.
Yeah. Wow, that's pretty good.
It is good. It doesn't seem on the same level as we saw for Broker's Ascendancy, but it is more cards, so that counts for
It is a It is the beginning of your upkeep, so anything you get, you you can go ahead and use. It's not like it's setting you up for next time. And I mean, isn't this is the one where with the like what is it, alliance, where you just want to have lots of creatures? You want to keep
Yeah,
getting
true.
creatures out.
Yep.
So this is exactly what you want to do.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
That's fine.
all the Ascendancies aren't going to be on the same power level. At least we've seen before that they weren't. So
Right, that's true.
it makes sense. I do really like this though.
Okay.
All right, let's see. I can't remember the names of all of them at once.
Maestros would be the next one. It's pretty far.
Oh yeah, Maestro's Ascendancy. Okay, what's that do?
So this is cool. For blue, black, red, rare enchantment. Once during each of your turns, you may cast an instant or sorcery spell from your graveyard by sacrificing a creature in addition to paying its other costs. If a spell cast this way would be put into your graveyard, exile it instead.
Yeah, I had seen that one. That one's pretty good too. And it doesn't specify when. You notice that? It's just whenever you want during your turn.
Yes.
So it's not like at the beginning of your upkeep or at the beginning of your end step, so you could use it to, sack a creature in it for a counterspell.
Yep, you could.
Which it's a nice bit of freedom there.
It is, and it allows you to do stuff like during combat too.
Chat is forcing me to hydrate. Okay, here. There, did you hear that? I'm drinking. But yeah, this is good. So let's see next.
I like how if you need to replay a board wipe, you can just sacrifice a creature and be like, oh well, it's gonna die anyway.
Gonna die anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh darn.
That is a nice point. Yeah.
So next up, I think we have the Obscura.
Yeah, here it is.
Yeah. So for a white, a blue, and a black, this has a lot of words. Whenever you cast a spell, if its mana value is equal to 1 plus the number of soul counters on Obscura Ascendancy, put a soul counter on Obscura Ascendancy, then create a 2/2 white spirit creature token with flying.
Okay, so when you cast a spell that costs 1, it'll look over at Obscura Ascendancy and be like 0 plus me. Or 0 plus 1 equals 1. That's me. Okay. And then a spirit will pop out and a counter will show up on the Ascendancy.
Right.
And so then it just counts up and you keep getting more 2/2s and it keeps getting more counters.
Yeah. And
so next time you have to play a spell that costs 2 to get a spirit, and then 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, I mean, you could just do that and just keep getting them. But it also has this other ability. As long as there are 5 or more soul counters on Obscura Ascendancy, spirits you control get +3, +3.
Okay, see now that's nasty. Because they
Yeah.
have flying.
Yeah. And now they're 5/5s. Not to mention, your other spirits, if you have other spirits, which, by the way, if you're playing this, you might want to look at spirits.
Yeah, maybe think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I mean, even if you don't have any other spirits, just the spirits you get from this, that's pretty sick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is really hard to use. Like, you have to build a deck around this. This
Yeah.
isn't just,
Yeah, you
I've
have
got
to-
spells in the deck, throw it in there. No.
No,
But this feels.
because if you don't have the one that costs 1, you're just stuck
Yeah.
permanently.
I paid 3
But
mana
this-
for what? Shut up.
While I haven't read too much of the story, this from what we know of the Obscura, they're not afraid of doing things the hard way, and their schemes seem pretty convoluted. So this seems to fit them pretty well.
Also, it's a seance, because of course it is.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 5 of them. You see that?
Ah.
Ah. Okay.
All right, so the Riveteers
So-
is the last one. Oh, look, it's the famous picture, except not.
Isn't
All
there
right, so-
one more?
so
Or is that
play-
it?
What?
Yeah.
Is this the last one? Okay.
Yeah, the Riveteers.
Okay.
Yeah, so play Jund. This is a black, a red, and a green. Whenever you sacrifice a creature, you may return target creature card with lesser mana value from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Oh, do this only once each turn. All right.
But yeah, otherwise it would be crazy. Although, I do want to point out that this isn't legendary, so
Yeah. Good point.
but I mean, yeah, if this wasn't limited, that would be crazy. Even with the fact that you have to keep getting smaller each time.
And
Go ahead
notice
and
it's
get back
not when a
that,
creature dies, it's when you sacrifice a creature,
Yes.
Right.
which is very important to keep this from getting busted.
Yeah. And this is in the color, this is in the family with Blitz. So if you blitz out a creature, it makes it until the end of the turn. It's getting sacrificed. So
Yeah. So this one seems to be, I don't want to say the most limited, but it's the one that impresses me the least. Let's put it that way.
Really?
Yeah, it's just not. It's not poking that part of my brain.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I get that, but I think if you play this in a Jund deck, with enough creatures and creatures with enters the battlefield effects, that I feel like this could get out of hand.
Actually,
In a good
yeah,
way.
I can see blitzing something out and sacrificing it to get back a topiary stomper to go get another
Yeah.
land. Buh.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm warming to it. I'm warming to it.
The fact that you get the creature back for free is no small thing.
That is true, yeah. And also, you can sacrifice creatures for all kinds of reasons on other people's turns, too.
Yeah.
Sure.
Hmm.
And there's plenty of stuff to do it. Because that's a theme on several cards. There are even some common sacrifice outlets. You got to pay some mana, but
Yeah.
they're there.
Okay, yeah, I'm warming to it even more.
Well, they'll be happy to know.
I mean, they don't care. They're eating lunch. On the high steel, eating lunch. Or the high. Would it be steel? I don't know what kind of metal they have in New Capenna.
I mean, steel's pretty reliable, so
Yeah. You can't say working the high Ethereum because we're in the wrong plane for that.
yeah.
Although I don't know, it could be a thing. Like, okay, did anyone ever play the original Fallout games?
Never played any of them.
The whole plot of the first Fallout game was you had to get a chip or something for your water purifier for your vault. Otherwise, everyone in the vault was going to die because they wouldn't have clean water, right?
Right.
And that's the whole plot. Like, that's the driving force of the first Fallout game is we've got to have a water chip thing. And then in Fallout 2, while your character is wandering around, they can find just a whole box or container full of water chips that they have literally no use for. So I wonder if like something super rare and powerful and whatnot on one plane, somewhere else would be like, yeah, we use it to, knock fish out when they're swimming too close to the surface. What? That's worthless. What? Ethereum? Yeah, that's what my lunchbox is made out of. I'm sorry, your lunchbox, did you say? Is it a powerful artifact? I mean, it keeps my sandwich warm. Okay, I feel like I've lost everybody with this, but that's okay.
I'm just kind of letting you go. So.
Anyway, it is Ethereum, right? On wherever that was. Is that the name of the metal?
Esper.
Yes.
Esper. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was Alara, wasn't it? You said Alara, and I'm like, no, the other one. And yeah, okay, I'll be all right.
Okay.
Any other cycles that we didn't?
What about the other hideaways?
Oh yeah, do we have the other hideaways?
We've talked about the blue one and the black one. What's that, Mike?
I think all the hideaways are here, but there was another common cycle I wanted to highlight. But let's go hit the other hideaway.
Okay.
Oh
my god. Okay, so the green one, I'm just looking at the art and it makes me so happy. It's called Fight Rigging. And it's a big rocks dude beating the crap out of... Is that just a smaller rocks dude?
A smaller rocks dude, yeah.
Oh, okay. Damn. So Dirk, what... Oh, crap. So for 2 and a green, it's got Hideaway 5 again. And at the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Well, that's nice. And then if you control a creature with power 7 or greater, you may play the exiled card without paying its mana cost. So it just throws out +1/+1 counters, and eventually you get a free card.
Yeah.
And even if you don't, like, for 3 mana, that's fine. Just every turn, something gets bigger. I'll take it, yeah. Okay, so that's the green one.
The white one is rabble rousing. For 4 and a white, it's got Hideaway 5. Whenever you attack with one or more creatures, notice it doesn't say non-token, create that many 1/1 green and white citizen creature tokens.
Ooh.
Just right off the bat.
Ooh.
I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Then, if you control 10 or more creatures, which keep in mind they don't have to survive combat, you just have to have them, you may play the exiled card without paying its mana cost. This is how you get to 15 creatures for Halo Fountain.
Clearly.
Mm.
It costs 5 for a reason.
Thank goodness, yeah.
But if you've got, I don't know, 3 creatures when you play this and you can safely attack with them, and now you're up to 6. I can do math. So that just leaves the red one.
Yeah, the red one is Widespread Thieving.
That's such a great name.
Yeah, for 2 and a red. It's a rare enchantment. Uh-oh. Red rare enchantment. Hideaway 5. Whenever you cast a multicolored spell, create a treasure token. Then you may pay Wooburg. If you do, you may play the exiled card without paying its mana cost.
Ah,
I think the key to these is just seeing, hey, how good is their normal effect? Since first of all, you may not hit a good card on the hideaway, and
Yeah.
also you're only ever going to get the one. But how good is the rest of this enchantment? And I think whenever you cast a multicolored spell, make a treasure token is
seems
not
fun.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think with the white one, whenever you attack, get that many creatures is very good.
Yeah,
The
that one's
black
kind of
one-
silly.
The black one is, just straight up, beginning of your upkeep, you may mill 3 cards. And it does say you may. So if you're getting down to the end, you can be like, I'm good. I'm good.
And this is
Yeah,
where Mike
but
goes.
you would really only put that in a deck where that was the whole point.
Yeah.
I get it, but I'm just saying it even giving you the option is a plus. So
This is where you show
wiretapping-
Mike a version that says may, and you show him a version that says don't, and it says you must, and management wants you to find the difference between these two pictures. Mike's like, they're the same picture.
Yeah. The blue one, wiretapping, is a personal howling mine. And
Yeah,
then
the blue
green
one is good.
The blue, and also costs 5. So
Yeah.
the white one and blue one costing 5 is very much on purpose. And then the green one was the bigger.
Yeah, dudes get bigger.
Yeah.
Or dude gets bigger.
Yeah.
But still, for only 3 mana, that works.
Yeah. So
What
was
do you
the
need
comment-
underneath a hideaway land to make it worth it? Just like
I mean,
a creature.
It needs to be something. It needs to be something meaningful. Like I know for the hideaway lands, and I have some in some of my commander decks. When I put something under there, I feel like it needs to either cost at least 4 mana, or if it's less than that, it needs to be something pretty impressive. Like one of the Sword of X and Y.
I mean, I get with the lands here. I feel like all of these enchantments are decent already. So for me, the hideaway is just kind of like it's a neat little bonus kind of thing. It's better if it's ridiculous, but for me, I think my threshold is lower than Mike's.
Yeah, like I'm thinking, looking at fight rigging, I'm thinking, all right, I want like a 3/3 or more, and I'm happy.
Yeah, it helps that they continue to do something. That makes them a lot different than the hideaway lands.
Yeah.
A land. Which is important, but not the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure each one of these has like an ideal thing. Like I'm thinking with the white one, a wide pump spell, like creatures you control get +1/+1, feels kind of ridiculous. So, but yeah. So what was the cycle of comments you wanted to talk about, Mike?
So it's this cycle, and where's one? The Shattered Seraph in gold. It's a cycle of multicolored commons.
Yeah,
so
those guys.
All of them are, sizable, pricey creatures, one in each family, that are big enough to be relevant in limited, and also have something that can fix your mana. Like, for example, Shattered Seraph costs a total of 7, 4 and a white, a blue, and a black, for a 4/4 Angel Rogue with flying that also says when Shattered Seraph enters the battlefield, you gain 3 life. So, pretty good for late game limited. But they all have an ability like this. Pay 2, exile Shattered Seraph from your hand. Target land gains, tap, add white, blue, or black until Shattered Seraph is cast from exile. You may cast Shattered Seraph for as long as it remains exiled. So
that is cool.
Yeah, one for each family, with the appropriate colors. So they fix your mana if they're in your hand early game. They don't ramp you. They just add extra abilities to one of your lands. And they can be, run out later in the game when they're more helpful and you actually pay the cost. What I also found very interesting about these is that you can splash them as just a late game sizable creature, and they provide their own splash.
They do.
You could have Shattered Seraph as a splash in your otherwise, Broker or Maestro's deck that you build from your sealed pool or draft pool, and it brings its own third color that you would need to cast it later.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
But it still contributes some fixing to those decks since you're still getting 2 of the relevant colors out of it.
This is how you do multicolored commons correctly.
Yeah, like it. Okay, so this one is a 4/4 flyer that gains 3 life. The Rakish Revelers are 5/3s. That it's a 5/3 that creates a 1/1 citizen to go with it.
Yeah, and it costs 5.
And it costs 5. The the Masked Bandits are 5/5 for 6 in Jund with Vigilance and Menace, so they don't have an enters the battlefield, but they're 5/5 with Vigilance and Menace.
Wow.
Let's see. Nope.
Yeah, they kind of scattered around here.
Nope. Nope. What? Damn.
Oh, are all 5 of them not here?
I don't know. I didn't go down. I only went up.
Oh, okay.
Shattered Sarah. Okay, go down. We find. Nope. 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 All 5 of them aren't here.
Okay.
But still, that was what? 4 of them? 3 of them?
3 of them.
Yeah, but they're all they do good things in their respective Scarface family, but which for a big dumb common creature is fine, but the fixing on the creature to make it something in the early game. Every time that I think Wizards has given up, like they hit something just brilliant like this. Like, this is amazing. I always love it when they can find a way to make cheap and small creatures work, like be important in the late game. Mm-hmm. And when they can find a way to make big, stupid, expensive things important in the early game.
Yeah.
Because remember, the Chewy school of Magic is more options, more better. And yes. So this cycle is just amazing. Thank you, Mike. I might never have noticed these if you hadn't specifically pointed them out. Because I'd be like, whatever, common, eyes glaze over, keep going, too many words.
Yeah, you see the text, like, oh, I'm not reading that.
Truthfully,
I'm happy for
earlier.
You, though. Or sorry that happened.
Here's my issue with the set icon. For a minute, I thought they were rares because they've still got that gold behind them. So I kind of was like, And then when you pointed out they were common, I was like, those aren't. Oh, they are, which makes them infinitely better because then it's so much better for limited.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to be needing to head out, but I want to talk about one more card, and then if I know I'm being a bit abrupt here, if you guys want to cover a couple, that's fine. I think we'll still have enough to talk about next time when Dirk is back, but I got to talk about the brass knuckles.
Oh yeah, you do.
I just
They're really
gotta,
cool.
because they're awesome. For 4, they're a colorless artifact. Interestingly, we have to throw that in today. These days, we're like, it's an artifact. And in the old days, we would know that that's where they are. But now we have colored artifacts. But anyway, for 4 mana, it's an uncommon artifact equipment. When you cast this spell, copy it. It does not have um what is that? Not connive, but corpse. No, well, I mean that's kind of what the ability
Casualty.
is. Casualty. Casualty, corpse, whatever. You just straight up get 2 brass knuckles because that's how that works. It has an equip cost of 1,
Ugh.
and equipped creature has double strike as long as 2 or more equipment are attached to it. So you could just be like, play this, and then either right away or next turn, throw both of these on a creature. Boom, it's got double strike. But if you've got other equipment, then this allows you to spread out the double strike.
Man.
Yes.
And then there's the art, which just has brass knuckles on fire. And I'm just, yeah.
Coming at your face.
Come at your face.
Like,
You
I
know what?
really like the idea that for 2 extra mana you can give anything double strike just by going nuck nuck.
Who's there? Oh, sorry.
Like that just makes me happy. But then yeah, like Brian said, if you have other equipments, then suddenly more things can have double strike without having to double knuck it. I'm fairly certain that double knuckling something is a sexual term, but I'm trying real hard not to point
It's
that out.
gotta
Oh, I
be.
failed.
It's gotta be. So, but I hope this was a lot of fun to talk to you guys. I'm not going to do a final thought right now because I'm tired.
I
But
think that is his final thought.
I hope everyone out there in internet world is doing well and staying healthy and safe and all that good stuff that doesn't just apply during a pandemic, but hopefully you're those things all the time. And hopefully everyone is enjoying looking at this set with us. I know that a lot of times we're like, oh, more previews. But like Chewy said, I am genuinely impressed that here we are 25 plus years later, and this is some really good card design. So, and I'm not even like that big a Mafia person in real life or in entertainment. Um, I really did enjoy The Departed. Awesome movie, but I'm just not like a oh wow yeah got to see The Godfather again. But I'm digging the set. I think it's cool. So,
Yeah, I
all
think
right,
in this case, for me, like the flavor of the set is vaguely irrelevant because I'm also not into gangster movies. They don't really do it for me. I like stealing movies, but gangster. I've never seen Scarface. I did see The Godfather and was blown away by how amazing it was, but I haven't seen Goodfellas. I say this to people and their jaws drop. What? I'm like, I just haven't. I just don't care. It's not for me. I haven't seen The
not your
Departed
thing.
either.
The
But
Departed is a good movie, but not for
like
everybody.
the flavor is completely irrelevant to me personally, but the way that they've worked the flavor in and then had such really good designs on a bunch of these cards are those 2 factors are really impressing me. That and card names, of course.
Yeah,
Cement Shoes is right next to it, for God's
it
sake.
it is. So, all right, you guys have a fantastic night,
All right, night
and
B.
yeah,
And yeah, I think Ark Spitter is a Magic Tommy gun.
Yes, it is. They really weren't subtle about the way they shaped it in the art.
Yeah, or the flavor text. So Ark Spitter for 1 mana is an uncommon equipment that says equip 1, and it says equipped creature has pay 1. This creature deals 1 damage to target creature that's blocking it. So yeah, And then the flavor text is, I'm fresh out of mercy today. Why don't you ask Sparky here for forgiveness? And you could easily say, why don't you ask Tommy here for forgiveness? And it makes perfect sense. So, yeah.
Yeah. I really like creatures that have an ability like this built in. So I really like this equipment that can make any creature like that.
Yeah, it's like a weird flavor of first or double sort of kind of strike, kind of, that you pay for.
Yeah, it's like a weird first strike fire breathing.
Yeah. It's it's very strange, but I like it. I thought it said tap, and I'm like, this is the dumbest card ever. And then my brain snapped, and it said 1, and I went, oh, that's really good, actually. Okay. It's like, how?
That'd be a pretty serious Zen Cohen of a card there.
Right? So it only works on vigilant creatures? This is stupid. Oh, no, I'm an idiot. Okay. It turns out I just can't read. Well, you think we should stop there then, Mr. Beard?
Yep.
Since we lost Brian and Dirk's already in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Without any kids, by the way. That's
right.
That's the impressive part. So it's an actual vacation. But all right, well then let's wrap it up, and when we get Dirk back, we'll talk about some more of this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh look, there's corpse explosion. Yeah, because there's just so much. We haven't even looked at any of the vehicles yet.
No, they're really cool.
Yeah.
Especially just concept wise.
Yeah.
I really like the Furious Limousine. We'll get to that later.
So yeah, come back next week when hopefully we have a bunch of dorks here to talk about new Capenna cards. All right, I just saw a card called Body Dropper. All right, let me close this. Body Dropper. That's not right. So what you got, Mike?
So something that I went to gather and looked up on the side way earlier in the episode, because I just couldn't remember whether there was an effect that did this. I was certain there was. I just couldn't remember what it was. So we talked about those common lands. You know, when this enters the battlefield, sacrifice it. When you do, go get a basic, whatever.
Yeah.
So there was a mythic in Zendikar Rising called Ancient Greenward. So it's an elemental. It costs 6. It costs 4 green for a 5/7 with reach. You can play lands. So you may play lands from your graveyard. And also, if a land entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. So yeah, I mean, it's a 6 mana creature. This is Magical Christmas Land, but it is a pretty magical Christmas land if you can start pulling this off.
Wait, does that work with these lands?
Yeah, because the land itself is causing the triggered ability to trigger. The land entering the battlefield is causing this triggered ability to trigger.
But the triggered ability is sacrifice it.
No, the triggered... Yeah, and it starts with when Cabaret Courtyard enters the battlefield.
Yeah.
That's the trigger condition.
Yeah.
So a land entering the battlefield is causing it to trigger.
Right. So you sacrifice it twice?
So when you do... So when you... Oh, darn it. Dang it. Freaking hell. Sorry. I messed up.
Okay, see, I'm glad, though, because somewhere in my head during that conversation, I was trying to think of a card like Ancient Greenward and couldn't. And as I read over it again, I'm like, no, wait. I don't think that would work, so I just didn't say anything. So, okay, I already closed the freaking...
I forgot about the when you do. Yeah, I got excited. And I didn't read the card.
Where did my... Okay, hang on. Okay, there we go. So let's go back to one of these lands. Cabaret.
But at
Here
least
we
you
go.
can play them from your graveyard.
So yeah, it says when it enters the battlefield, sacrifice it, and that's the triggered ability. And then there's a
When you do.
a when you do, which is what is that?
That's a reflexive trigger.
Ah, okay. So that's why it doesn't work with the Ancient Green Warden.
Yeah. I mean, that first part does trigger twice, but you don't get what you want because the important part is what happens, is the other triggered ability, that reflective trigger that happens next.
Okay, but that is an important thing that that you just picked up on. I'm just amazed that it was me that called you.
Yeah, I guess I'm still not used to thinking about cards designed with reflexive triggers to make intuitive stuff happen and to make silly stuff not happen.
Yeah. But okay then. So that's an important tip from us to you that doesn't work.
Nope.
But you wish it did. You really wish it did.
Oh, I do.
All right then. So, now what?
Well, I guess I didn't have anything worthwhile to say, and I still don't. So.
Excuse me. Well, okay then. So, hey, you can go to patreon.com/themanapool, become a lifeguard, and that'll get you some early access stuff and some odds and ends and some sponsorship shout outs. So, hey, I would like to thank, I don't know what order this is in. We'll just read it. Al, Kimho, Scuzzo, John Parker, Jake Jansons, Mike, hey, Timu Hellas Haryu, PJ McMullen, Violet Moon, The Beastfather Aaron Goodwine, Jason Kaus, Andrew Hunt, Cody Buckowing, Casey, Gothic Man, Pinball Witch, Jason Doan, Mr. Dr. Lewis, Connor Kennedy, and ALK Alters. And yeah. Let's see. What have I been up to here? I went to a ramen place last night for the first time ever and got some ramen. That was pretty good. Been working on the Hitman VR videos. By the way, I highly recommend everyone go check out. I made a video. It's 1 minute and 18 seconds, and it's called Hitman VR is Silly. It's on the YouTube channel, and it's literally less than 2 minutes long, and it's just me goofing off in Hitman VR, and I had a lot of fun making a 1 minute and 18 second long video of just the funny stuff that happened in a quick little test stream to make sure that it was working. But the videos I'm working on are full on like narrative. I guess technically they're role play videos, I guess is how, if you wanted to categorize them, where Chewy 47 is doing his first couple missions, his training missions, the first 2 videos. And yeah, having a lot of fun learning how to Hitman VR. And they've been a lot of fun. One of them is I've got all the editing for time done. I just need to figure out if there's anything else I need to do. I took it from like 45 minutes of raw footage down to 20 something, so I'm really condensing it into the good stuff. And then I watched through the whole thing and cut out another probably 1.5 minutes of just stuff. I was like, why is this still here? So I'm trying to make these as dense and like less time of me wandering around in VR just looking at stuff, and more time of just the funny bits. Plus, the narrative, because Chewy 47 is training to become an assassin. and he's really excited. And also, God help me, Mike, you remember how much effort I put into modding Skyrim back when I was playing Skyrim again on stream?
Oh yeah, for all the quality of life stuff and other things that you found.
Yeah. I'm looking into getting Skyrim VR, which is basically unplayable in its vanilla state. And because it's Bethesda, so they didn't, bother to put any effort into the VR conversion. And yeah, I don't even have the game yet, and I'm already working on a giant list of mods. So yeah, it's a problem. Also, because it's going to be in VR, I was like, all right, I'll upgrade the graphics because, Skyrim is an 11-year-old game. And again, they put zero effort into the port, so nothing is upgraded. I was like, yeah, I'll do a bunch of the graphic mods, make everything prettier. And then I realized that requires a lot more video card than I have.
Oh.
So now I'm sad. Like, oh, I can't do all those things. I could do a bunch of the, gameplay mods and whatnot, because if I'm going to do Skyrim in VR, then I want it to be drastically different than what, original Skyrim was that I already played on stream once. But in VR, it'll be different already. But so I'm looking at adding in all kinds of assorted nonsense. Not just ways to make it more VR friendly, but just ways to make it a different and better game. And good Lord, this is a rabbit hole. I don't even have the game yet to start modding, and I'm deep in the rabbit hole. Like, it's bad. So that'll be fun. And also, yes, chat, Vampire Survivors. If you have a PC, everybody, I highly recommend Vampire Survivors. It's a game on Steam. It's in early access. I think it's $3. And it's I don't remember if I've talked about that before on in an odds and ends, but it's a one-stick shooter. All of your attacks happen automatically at certain intervals, and you're just in charge of moving. And it is addicting. And since the last time I played, there have been 2 full updates, I think. No, one update. I played the day after the last update. But yeah, there's an update today that added in a brand new mechanic to the game. Because, again, it's in early access, so they're still working on it. So, yeah, it's if you have a computer that is above potato, so sorry, Mike, that leaves you out.
Yep.
At least for now, I highly recommend it. They said they're working on getting it in a different engine that will, because once the game gets full of enemies, the graphics are very simple. They're like 8-bit graphics, but all the calculations it has to do cause less capable computers to chug a lot. Mm-hmm. But they said they're working on getting it in a new engine that will lessen that, so they'll be able to port it to other things. Like, I think he said a mobile port could be a thing in the future if they get it in the new engine and working properly. And I was like, ooh. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Hashtag not sponsored. Hashtag feel free to sponsor me, I guess. But just sharing with everyone what's good. But I think it's only on Steam. I don't even think it's on Humble, so you can use my Humble link, but that's okay. But yeah. So there you go. But hey, you can do all the social things. I'm on Twitter. We have a Facebook page that is essentially just, links to the content. I don't actually use the Facebook page for anything other than that. You can join the pool on Discord. We have a really good community. And everyone's very friendly for the most part. Like earlier today, we had a wonderful conversation about canceling Optimus Prime, and then the French, and then JT. It was a good time. So yeah, I highly recommend, if you're on Discord, you should join the pool and come hang out with us, because we have a lot of fun. And there's channels for all the things, video games and magic and books and movies and nonsense. And there's even a separate sensitive topics channel for things that some people want to go to a Discord server to like get away from the bad things. So I put it in a separate channel for anyone that doesn't want to have to look at it. Doesn't have to. Hey. So there you go. But I guess we should be done now, right?
Yeah,
Mike dozed off. So yeah, we should definitely be done.
I'm here.
So this has been the Mana Pool number 646. Thank you all so very much for joining us, and play Jund, do crimes.